Hey everyone, my name is Simsy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4 Cold War mod here today on the channel. We're back with episode 10 of my United States campaign and the war between the Americans and the USSR is still very much underway. It's been 12 long years since the Soviets attacked Afghanistan, and not much has changed over on the border. Unfortunately, Italy capitulated, and the NATO forces are trying to reclaim the peninsula and reclaim Italy and take it back from those damn socialists. But there's still a little bit of pockets in resistance in the left and right, but the Soviets, I would say so far, are winning and ultimately probably going to win. The Allies have pushed into Poland once again and have thrown back the push that always gets so close to Berlin, but after 11 years, war support and stability for this war is dropping. NATO controls the seas, while the Soviets control the airspace. The Soviets are losing countless forces, significantly more losses, but for the territory calculation, they're doing a lot better compared to the NATO allies that have lost probably about a fourth of what the Warsaw Pact has ultimately lost, but they haven't got much territory to show for it, and ultimately Italy's capitulated. It makes me think if France or Spain were here, or even Austria to help on out, but NATO is currently trying to retake Sicily, 600k Americans. It's ballooned to what 1.2k, 1.2 million Italians lost, 1.7 to the Germans, and both Yugoslavia, the Soviet Union, and the Czech Republic are losing countless more. But I ultimately can't wait to see how this campaign ends up once we get to the 2000 start date. The USSR ultimately didn't fall, and now we're in 1992. Okay. Al Gore's still currently the president, but NATO has been successful in retaking Italy, liberating Naples and Rome. I suppose we had to dust those old logistic blueprints and battle plans to retake Italy like we did towards the end of WW2. Unfortunately, Leipzig is threatened again, but there is a bit of a push into Warsaw. But there's been a massive push into Estonia and Latvia. Out of nowhere, NATO forces have pushed into the Baltic. If they could threaten Minsk and Moscow from this side, that'd be huge. We haven't seen a front like that before. Why did the Soviets own that? A little bit in Finland, strange. Still fighting up in the Arctic, which is interesting. In July 1992... supply is still very much an issue. But if we can retake Italy and maybe counterpunch, we lost all the initiative in Afghanistan by the look of it. Oh, okay. The US has actually lost a fair few tanks there. So what was... yeah, it's like 5 tank divisions, which is quite a bit. Seeing as we only have 13. Still have 35 million manpower, thanks to our Indian puppets. But if we can retake Italy, I'll be curious to see what this turns out to change in this ultimate stalemate. Florence is about to be retaken. The boys are about to liberate Bologna. And what tanks are sort of operating here? M16A2s. Bradley infantry fighting vehicles. They seem to be the cream of the crop in taking out Soviet armor. And they're nearly 70% being liberated. It's just starting to bug out a bit more here. As you can see, there's like 3 white pixels on that tank. It already takes like ages to get a year done now in this mod. Oh, I can't believe we started this campaign in, what, 1949? This is a very, very long one. We're really pushing the mod's limits to the end of the start date. But a huge 20% reduction to the war support. War weariness has definitely settled in. A little bit of a push into Poland here. Maybe even into Prague as well. But ultimately you would think there'd be a ceasefire because either side hasn't really staked a huge claim. Alright, let's have a look at... Oh, wow, we haven't done this. We haven't sorted. Oh, Germany, nearly 2 million. Oh, my. Italy, 1.2. We haven't hit a million yet. Australia with 200k. The Soviets with 4 million. The Czechs with 2.3. Same with the Yugoslavs. Hopefully, this push in liberating the Baltic will work well. Oh, here we go. The Norwegians and the Belgians push... Belgium? Oh, Belgium's now in? Oh, I guess they have been for a while, but I haven't really seen much of their military forces doing well. A little bit of a naval invasion in the south. I'm surprised Portugal or the UK never pushed into Morocco, though. But for 12 years, ironically like the name of the mod, World War III has turned into a bit of a Cold War, you could say. Some of the various puppets have changed their regional autonomy, asking for more, which hasn't changed too much. The British Navy here, smashing the limited Soviet Navy, once again. But once we liberate Italy, hopefully we can use this initiative and momentum of retaking ground to actually push through that choke point. But the amount of enemy equipment and armor just destroyed on that East German border. Absolute slugfest. There's also a new election coming up as well. Wonder if Al Gore will stay as the president. Okay, so Italy's nearly now back, and looks like Al Gore's going to get another term. Although war support is down, the liberation of Italy seems to be quite palatable. Okay, so the casualties have actually swung back since this counter-offensive by NATO. So I usually take off 1 million from the casualties because the Portuguese don't really count that much. Because already 1 million was during the African conflicts, which had nothing to do with this direct result. So it's about 6 million, but it's coming close to like 7.6. They're sitting at about 12 million lost though. The Warsaw Pact. Oh, we're driving into Poland once again. It's just like 2 steps forward, 1 step back in like massive ping pong swings. Estonia, Latvia liberated except for some of the far eastern Russian speaking territory. Lithuania still defiant. We're still at war with Poland, of course. January 1993, just because it's the first of the year. Has anything changed? Oh, a little bit of a push there. My God. Absolute grinding there. What's going on here? Nothing. China just chilling. Japan not helping out. Is that Menzi? Yeah, I guess. Oh, they got rid of the Iron Lady. I didn't know James Bond was ruling Mexico. Margaret Thatcher, that's her name. Alright, so Al Gore is going to survive another term. 13 years. I wonder if we're going to have a ultimate victor at some point, or this is going to go forever. Alright, December 1993. I feel like I'm stuck in purgatory. Hell no. About to go 94 now. 14 years. Italy's now been liberated. 7.2 mil for NATO, nearly 13 for the Allies, the Soviets. A little bit of a push in Afghanistan once again. But then once again, periodically getting cut off and pushed back. Yeah, it's just an absolute stalemate. Attrition is fought for both sides. Although the Soviets, I'd say, have definitely become far, far close to actually winning. The Allies have had some decent drives, but nothing incredibly substantial. US troops haven't even really landed in any decent or cord Russian/Soviet territory. Alright. Oh, okay. So, skipped a little bit ahead here now. 2 years. We've had some different events. Unfortunately, Iran's been called in, which is massive. So that's really bad for us as we go 95. Italy, unfortunately, capitulated again. So we lost that. And after 2 years, it looks like this front in Afghanistan's ultimately going to fall as we're getting pinned on the side here. Afghanistan was getting crushed in the north, and we ultimately might lose Pakistan again. So I think the Soviets are probably going to claim victory in this one. Italy's fallen again. They were holding out in pockets before. In Italy, that's how they were able to retake it, and it's gone to a massive 30% dip for stability and war support. Nothing much has changed once again on the Czechoslovakian border. That push and drive in liberating Estonia and Latvia, NATO had to withdraw from. But 15 years now on, Iran has decided to put their chips into the Soviets. And we've probably only got 3 years left of rifles left anyway. And I don't think NATO and the US are going to come out of this one. It's basically the air support. I think that's what's going on. Still various other powers in charge. And we've actually hit the end of the tech tree in some aspects. I'm pretty sure I read you can play this mod into the early 2000s. I'll just keep on going. It just, the longer it goes, it becomes more unstable. Why is that flipped around there? But it looks like they're going to claim ultimate victory after 15 years. What a hell of a slog. They're probably going to take their war goal in actually controlling Afghanistan. Oh, they're really getting pushed back. I wonder if we didn't take India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan early on, we would have focused on Europe more. Al Gore's still got another year before we get a new president. And Iran is not just coming over with itself. It's actually got its puppet, Iraq and Jordan. So even though they're technically not a part of the USSR, they're fighting with them. But overall, this is still the map. The United Arab Republic didn't really do too much. The US trying to defend Afghanistan with stingers in Kabul, ironically. Currently trying to get the M4 carbines in. They've been commissioned. Unfortunately, some of the aluminium and raw resources have been gone. The higher caliber howitzer blueprint has been commissioned. But the Soviet armor is rapidly running over Afghanistan now, and is probably going to fall in a matter of days. Once again, we're going to be pushing back to Pakistan. We might be able to hold them here in the Indian choke point, but things are not looking good for the Democrats, the Social Democrats under Al Gore. In October 1995, the US has ultimately thrown this campaign. But first time playing the Great War mod. What? The Cold War mod? This is a Great War, I guess. They're round 2 Great Patriotic War. But yeah, I was curious to see how the Cold War mod sort of plays out. This is my first time looking and checking out and experiencing a full campaign. If you'd like to see more, let me know in the comments of other factions you'd like me to check out. Maybe the Soviets are next on the list. Oh god, Afghanistan's gone. Well, there's a little bit of push here on the coast. Opting to go into the Balkans and Greece. Alright, I got the 91st Infantry and the 44th for the Americans dropping. Phasing out the patterns. The M1's rocking. But, what, 15 years? One major power lost. Afghanistan capitulated. Give it another 15. At this rate, the NATO powers are in a deathward spiral. I'm not even going to lie. Crete has firmly been under Allied control, though. Which is kind of cool. Alright, July 1996, we're about to have a new election. Will Al Gore stay in charge? Afghanistan is nearly fully capitulated. And it's definitely in their favour. They've hit 14 million to our 9, so we are really hemorrhaging troops now. Although it was nearly a 4-to-1 loss rate, it's nearly becoming on par, which is terrible, seeing as they have more fielded and more population, even with India under our control. Kandahar has been retaken. And thanks to the Iranians, they have severely crushed the resistance in Afghanistan. We do have some NATO territory here. Oh, in this alternative timeline, interesting, the UK never gave up the Suez Canal. We never had the Suez Crisis. Interesting. Crisis, rather. Crisis. Okay, yeah, we keep on driving into Poland, but there must be that crazy amount of fortifications in and around the Czech Republic. Yeah, so basically they've given up on Italy. They're an exile government operating out of Sardinia, I suppose. But August now, we're going to have an election soon. Oh! Why is the screen going black? We've had a game crash. You got to be kidding me. Bear with me. I'll try and fix and troubleshoot this. Alright, we've gone back to May. Unfortunately, when it gets like in and around the November election, although that crashed in August, the game crashes, which is unfortunate. So I really wanted to do like another 15 years of this, because I wanted to see the Soviets ultimately win and conquer everything. But we've pushed the limit. The game keeps on crashing. We have already gone like nearly 50 years since the start of the campaign, but at this rate, I would say that the Soviets are going to well and truly win this one. Or basically what would happen is that Central Europe, India would fall, the UK and the US would probably make a peace. But let's have a quick look at the scores. The US has first place, even though I wouldn't say that. But look at that, man. The Comintern has nearly double the strength with half the members. But they were going to ultimately dominate the continent. They might not have ever been able to threaten the US and UK Navy still so, but they still would have held and controlled a vast land empire in Europe and Eurasia. But anyway, yeah, I can't get it to run any longer, but I don't know why. I think it just gets to the point where focuses start to degrade. We also did unaligned. I'm surprised it actually lasted so long on historical AI focus was turned off. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed this Cold War Let's Play. It's been a lot of fun. But make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more from me, check out the videos on screen. Stay tuned for more uploads coming out in 2023. I'm sure there's going to be something on the channel. Hopefully it will suit your fancy. Alright guys, take care, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.